So I hit something, must have been a stump, and it broke the wheel right off. And I thought, you know, then the blade started grinding, and I lifted up the whole shebang. Didn't really realize at that time I was mowing my own wheel. Other than the wheel, the brush cutter's fine, but I guess I'm doing a lot of welding and or buying a new wheel and or whatever. Here's the stump that broke my wheel. Beaver cut. Hey YouTube, Minnesotaeric. So as I said, I broke off and then mowed the tail wheel assembly for my BB 720X Woods medium duty cutter. Anyway, I experienced sticker shock when I found out how much a new wheel assembly was going to cost. And so I looked all over the internet. What I need is a wheel assembly with 1.5 inches, what do we call this, tube, shaft. I don't know, it's not an axle, it's the thing that pokes into it. It goes on like so. And I need it to be about 10 inches long. But I couldn't find one that was cheap, that was 10 inches long. So I ordered in what I could, and now the plan is to cut this thing off and then weld what's left of the old shaft on. And if you look here, focus, if you look here, it just cleanly broke off. It wasn't working, it just snapped. So basically I need 223 millimeters to the center of the pin that holds it on. And if I'm going to err, I need to err on being too long, because being too short, that won't work so well for me. So anyway, what I got to do here is just brush off this enamel here so I can get something that I can work with welding and cutting. So that's what I'm going to do this evening. Alright YouTube, so I've got to cut an angle on 2 pieces of steel so I can eventually make one tube long enough, one yoke long enough. I was originally going to use my cutting torch, but this stuff seems to be cutting relatively fast just using Lennox blades, so on a Sawzall, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so focus. So you can see, this is the part that broke off. Focus. And it just catastrophically failed. It really wasn't working. It just broke off. But you can see that there's a bushing material here. There's some kind of bushing in the middle here. And then there's a bushing up on top. And so I'm trying to make sure my weld basically happens in this section, or so that the majority of the factory finish is there. Somehow it's tipping in and shrinking. I don't know why it's doing this, but it is. So it starts binding on the blade. One moment. So I have a YouTube channel, and this whole time I've been recording it. I'll edit it out, but let me turn this thing off. All right, so that was my neighbor Matt that showed up with an unexpected blessing. So, sure appreciate that. Let's get back to trying to dull up another blade. That's not quite what I was hoping for. Not as pretty as that one. Well, YouTube, it's getting dark, and my dog is nervous in the service, so I think I'm going to pick this up tomorrow, where I left off right now. Alright, so here's my setup. I've got this clamped down, and the big deal here is that I want to make sure that this isn't moving because there's quite a bit of weight hanging off the table. And my strategy is I'm going to tack weld this, then I'm going to use this straight edge and figure out if it really is straight and tappity tap it in the vise as needed to get it straight. So now I'm just going to tack this together.
You would think I believe it. A fantastic tale like that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Alright, well, so far so good. Straight that way. Alright YouTube, I'm going to come at this again tomorrow. I will, I don't know if I'm going to cut off the top, but I got to measure the hole, drill a 3/8 inch hole, and then go put the wheel on and then go pick it up with the rotary cutter with my tractor and see if the darn thing fits. Alright, so I got this jigged up on my drill press, and I raised the table a little bit so it probably moved. Let me get this back on my hole. Alright, that's going to work. Alright. Okay, stepping up the drill bit size. Alright, here we go. Third hole. Alright, done with that one. Okay, final 3/8 inch. Alright YouTube, we should be ready to go and try to test fit this onto the rotary cutter after I put the wheel back on. Okay YouTube, so I gotta assemble the wheel back onto this thing. I've drilled out my 3/8 inch hole. This pin, which is kind of mushed, maybe I should think about a new pin, but anyway, it's gonna go on there. Alright, let's do this. This thing, okay. Alright, big nut. Isn't there a washer on this? No, it's washerless. Fine. It's got a cotter pin on it though. Okay. And then what size is this? It is 28 millimeter. The rolls. Oh, it's taking up slack. Boy, that's pretty good right there. All right. Now, the big question is, I have a new cotter pin, and I got the cotter pin. I don't have any big cotter pins like this, but would a new cotter pin work? Oh, it's way too small. We're gonna recycle. Come on, give me tools. Maybe this. I want that hammer back. Hammer. Oh, there you go. Fine. Okay, so now we are ready to go mount this onto the rotary cutter. Bend different. Go mount this on the rotary cutter, and so the plan there is I'm just going to hook up the rotary cutter onto the tractor, pick up the whole rotary cutter, shove this thing in, stick in a awl or a pig stab or whatever trade you're in, you want to call it, but something to hold it there. And then when I set it back down, I'll be able to determine the shim height. Now, if I've done it right, all I will need, fighting magnets, very strong man, all I will need is these two shims before I stick in the pin. So we'll see if that works out, if I did my measurement and welding right. All right, that's a future Eric job. So just like that, it's the future. So the idea here is I'm going to shove it in and try to catch it any old which way with the awl, or in my buddy Mark's language, the pig stab. Oh boy. Get in there. This isn't bad. Screw it, I'm gonna set it down. If it stays there, I'm gonna set this down. There we go. That's the sound of sweet success. You might be asking yourself, why didn't I trim off all this extra? Well, in case this shaft breaks. If it breaks in the same spot, I will be able to take this one apart and weld it and do stuff to it. So, looks like I need another washer. But for now, it's poking through. All right, sweet. Anyway, YouTube, apart from greasing this thing on up and getting the washer stack right, I think that this thing's fixed. So on to the next project, YouTube. Bye-bye. Actually, I might be able to get, could I get it started? No, there's no starting. Oh my gosh, really? Huh. I gotta go higher. Take it high.